All right, this is where we're starting from on Zoom, and Facebook already joined. So everybody on Facebook and on Zoom and in the recorded version, my obeisances to you, a big welcome. We are here. We are here in order to share something of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rapok, Srila Hadev Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who are all giving us Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, giving us Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur, giving us Sri Rupa Goswami, giving us Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and many others within the line. So Jai Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga Ki Jai, and Jai all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Pada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And to those who joined us in the last couple of minutes, to Jason, to Sevarupa, Priya Sundari, and to Dana, a big welcome to you all. We are here. Myself, I'm in South Africa, Lenasia South, Lenasia South. That is, I never knew the proper pronunciation, but Lenasia, it seems to be something like Malaysia, but Lenasia South. Sevarupa of South Africa, she's nodding, so we've got it right after all this time. Lenasia. All right, but we're in the ashram, we're in actually Srila Gurudev's room in Lenasia, which the air is thick with Srila Gurudev's presence. So, dear devotees, ask me a question. Actually ask a question. Okay, I may take the first question, but we have Kumkum Didi, we have Sri Leka Didi, we have actually lots of experienced devotees, because we don't have to be a very old devotee for us. I mean, not that these two ladies are old, but like me, you don't have to be an old devotee in order to be able to answer questions. Means when we read the books, when we have experience of life, then things must come to every devotee. And after all, Srila Prabhupada, he expanded Krishna consciousness with 1-year-old devotees, with 6-month-old devotees, with 2-year-old devotees, 2-year-old devotees, from 0 to 2 years old. They would be engaged in preaching, establishing centers, and so many things, simply that Srila Prabhupada asks them to do so, and with that, then they are taking that message on their head, and with simple heart, faith in Guru, continuing. So everyone can contribute actually to a conversation about Krishna, about Harikatha. And I know it's an exception, but look in the cases of so many who came to Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. So Mahaprabhu's lotus feet at that time, they were instantly, of course, that's Nitya Leela in the sense of eternal Leela. They're connecting with Mahaprabhu, connecting with however they're connecting with him through the different gurus at that time, and they're connecting, and then instantly then they are in the topmost position. We don't see Ramananda Roy going on the Bhakta course. It's a good point. Okay, however, we are not Ramananda Roys. We are simple servitors, aspiring servitors of the Lord. Govinda, Govinda. Yes,
We have one
Ivan.
question here, Gurudev.
Yes.
We are reading Brihad Bhagavatamrita every night with and Jagoranga has a question about it. Maybe Shileka is the one that could answer to us. Anyway, Jagoranga.
Okay, first of all, we do become completely addicted to Brihat Bhagavatamritam, but it's not, just so everybody knows, it's not the first book to go and pick up and read. The summary of it is in the chapter, Levels of God Realization in the Search for Sri Krishna. So, I mean, first of all, we do give emphasis that to read Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada's books and the books that they've translated. So I just want to make that point because what I know once we start to read Brihat Bhagavatamritam, which is I don't know how many verses, but it's one of those books with many thousands of verses, with the commentaries by Sanatana Goswami. But once we pick that up, then it is very addictive. But we do want to emphasize, please. Generally, it's Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada's books, and we would like to say, after reading all of those books at least 3 times, then we pick up Brihad Bhagavatamritam. So let us keep focus there. But those of you who have spare time, like the brahmacharis in Thailand, then we may think in your spare time, then this is a book that we can read. It is not one of those books which we will never read in our lifetime. It's not in that department. Okay, having said that, yes, let me hear about your addiction to Brihad Bhagavatamrita.
First, my Dandavats Maharaj, Dandavats to the devotees. My question is around, we were discussing this idea of Krishna in Vrindavan, that he is the original Krishna. In Brahma Sangita it says Shamang Chibangal Etam Niyata Prakasham. The eternal 16-year-old boy bent in through places playing a flute with her by his side. And I was wondering, this first verse of Brahma Sangita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Is this verse referring to that Krishna, to that original Krishna, or is that referring to just all these different forms of Krishna, so like Dwarka Krishna, Mathura Krishna? Is that referring to them in general, or is it referring to Krishna?
Krishna. Hey, referring to the original Krishna. And we also see it there in that verse, because Ishvara Parama Krishna, then Satchitananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. And so we hear from Guru Maharaj that Govinda is never used as a name for Krishna in Dwarka and Mathura, I'm not sure, but Dwarka. But anyhow, it is certainly it's the Krishna of Vrindavan, because keep reading the Brahma Samhita, and what are you going to find? You're going to find that when you come to verse 57, is it? I forget the number of the verse, or 56, at the end of the verse just after all of the Govinda Madi Purusham prayers. That's rather a vivid description of Krishna in Vrindavan. No, so Krishna in Vrindavan, indeed. And he is bent in three places and plays his flute, but he's not fixed. He moves. At least his fingers, if he plays his flute. No, but he moves. Lord Brahma was referring to this Krishna. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. Maybe anybody else may like to add something. Hare Krishna. And Krishna is not complete without his energy, about her, she, as you, without she, as you mentioned, with a capital S, or a her with a capital H. Hare Krishna. This week, may we first come to Sri Lanka Devi Dasi, because we have seen her reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita throughout this last week, but that's for those who tune in to mine goes automatically there. What's your Facebook page called, Sri Lanka? SCS Ashram, perhaps.
It's SCS Mission, Mars.
SCS Mission. Okay, mine goes automatically because I only have about 3 places that I ever go to on Facebook, so it's going to come up with one of those 3. Sri Lanka, tell us something about the original Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Well, Maharaj, Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat devotees, Kumkumbiri, all Bhima Krishna Guru, Govinda. I just know that I mean all of you individually.
And we do have your sweet Lake City representation here in different places. I saw Sikara Shiromani is with us, and Joven, and Haley is in the other side. She's over in Vilu Govinda just now, in separation. Unless Joven, did you go to Vilu Govinda?
Also,
or are you?
Huh? I think it's Hosway, Mars.
Yes, Dandavats, Maharaj, Dandavats here.
It says here Joven. So how? Oh,
Hoven.
Oh,
It does say that. Yeah.
that is a nickname of the past.
Okay.
Currently, I'm Jose. I haven't been
I
in
didn't
Villa.
even know that. It looks like you're in the Prasadam room, Prabhu.
Yes, I am in the Prasadam room.
I thought he may have been somehow attracted to go to Vila Govinda.
How did you know, Maharaj?
Okay. And
He's a very
Shara
nice.
Shiromani Didi is also with us from Sweet Lake City. So Sri Lanka Didi, yes. Back to basics. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original personality of Godhead.
Maharaj, 2 things come to my mind. Infinite, the Lord is infinite. No one can come to the shore of his divine qualities. And I heard today Srila Guru Maharaj saying it, as the devotion, as the devotee's devotion grows, but the infinite Lord is also increasing in his glory. So there's like a competition. There's no end to it. And that is actually, when we think about it, this is what we are all hankering for, that we want this infinite personality to worship. But one thing that Srila Guru Maharaj said, because Jai Gauranga Prabhu mentioned the original personality of Godhead with Srimati Radharani by his side, and Srila Guru Maharaj said, and as we're singing every day in the Saraswata Arti, he said, Madhubhishta Rupa Radha Hridaya Mandire. That Krishna himself is saying, my original form is in the mandir of the heart of Radharani. So Guru Maharaj explained that Krishna, his form, that is the original Krishna. That is who he is. And even with other the Braja Gopis, his form is a little different. And then in the Vatsalya Ras, Sakya Ras, Dasya Ras, there's different forms of the Lord. for relationship with everyone. But the original form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is by the side of Srimati Radharani. That's the original form of the Lord. And even with other Braja Gopis, they're not seeing, I mean, that's a slightly different manifestation in Madhurya Ras, but and in all the other rasas. So that came to my mind when you were saying that. But also the song of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he's saying, Tumi Sarveshwareshwara, Brajendra Kumar. I really like that song so much because and it comes to your question also, Jai Gauranga Prabhu, that you're saying Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. Who are we worshiping there? But this song is expressed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and he's saying, Tumi Sarveshwareshwara, you are the Lord of Lords. You are the Ishwar of Ishwars. And then he's saying to me. That's very familiar. And then who is that Lord of all Lords? Brajendra Kumar, the son of Nanda Maharaj. So it's depending upon the eyes of the devotee and their heart's meditation. Because someone will read that and they're going to think of Lord Narayan, or they're going to think of Lord Vishnu, or the Lord of, or Dwarkesh, Matharesh. But in our line of Rupa Saraswati, we are always conceiving of the Lord as the Lord of Vrindavan. And of course, as Mara said, this is really who Lord Brahma is worshiping. He's worshiping the Lord of Vrindavan. And then the next one, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu, this is describing Vrindavan. And then Venung Kvanantamaravinda, he's playing on his flute. And Allo Lachandra Kalasadavanmalya Vangshi, his garland is swaying to and fro, and all of these things. So I think it's a very wonderful thing that you're reading Brahma Samhita. And Srila Gurudev talked about this book so much, so often. And it is really so small. It's a very, very small book. But it has the essence of everything you actually need to know is in the Brahma Samhita. But
yes, that's Brahma Samhita is very small. I think they're reading Brihat Bhagavatamritam, which is not so small.
Right, but they were quoting Ishvara Parama Krishna. So
yes.
I think they must be studying Brahma Samhita, right? Also. So very, anyway, so about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are always conceiving of that Lord. And he Mahaprabhu, Guru Maharaj is saying, Mahaprabhu he's singing, he's dancing, which means he has what he's looking for. And he's chanting means he's distributing that. So this is always our conception, and it is the conception of Lord Brahma also. I think that's a couple of things, Maharaj.
And you do also make the point that Brahma Samhita, it is a small book, and it was given by Srila Prabhupada, given by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And I just have to check in the front. But anyway, the Brahma Samhita is also emphasized to us to read. And you do point out it is a small book, whereas, the large books really are large books. And the Brahma Samhita, then Srila Gurudev very sweetly describes how when Mahaprabhu came across Brahma Samhita in South India, he said, oh, this is my teaching. This is like Gurudev taking on the mood of Mahaprabhu. This is my teaching. What's this? He brought it back because it already kind of existed, what it is that he wants to give to the world. And then, of course, there's the Ramananda Samvad, which is the step by step, also this word ontology, which I had to look up. I had to get and I had to actually find an English dictionary. Those days, dictionaries were books, they weren't the computer, and find out what does this word ontology mean. We had some idea, but then come to see, oh, it means it's like step by step by step, ontological, progressive understanding. So this progressive understanding of Krishna consciousness, coming from, in a short way, through Brahma Samhita, and the short way also through the Ramananda Samvad, and other places, of course, too. And it's the Ramananda Samvad that Srila Guru Maharaj gave much stress to, or Guru Maharaj himself, like relished and tasted. And it's the only, maybe not exactly the only book, but the only section, rather, that Srila Guru Maharaj would repeatedly ask to Srila Gurudev to read in his later years, when Srila Guru Maharaj can't read anything, he can't see the smallness, the small type. And he would ask Srila Gurudev to read that. So the Ramananda Samvad is very important for us in a nutshell, but in a not just a nutshell, an infinite nutshell. After all, when you get a nut, that contains the whole tree within the nut. The potential is there. You put that in the ground, and you get a nut tree. Okay, whatever, depending on what nut it is you had. So this way, in a nutshell, then we've got the step-by-step understanding coming to that, not only Krishna in Vrindavan, but then, even then, the Krishna then separation and all these, fine topics presented there. But good. Many thanks, Srila Kadiri, pointing that out. Hare Krishna. And there must be an origin. It's not possible for us to put in our puppy brains, but origin of the origin of the origin of the origin. And generally, that is going to take us to somebody like amazingly, incredibly powerful and capable. As we said, as Guru Maharaj said, about a grain of sand. You can study a grain of sand lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, have a whole sampradaya of sand discovery, or the ascending sampradaya, the line of, ascending. Start off with a piece of sand, let's study it. And we can take that study from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, and still not come to the end of its qualities. So generally, our search for the origin of everything comes to some mind-blowing, super capable creator who creates an amazing grain of sand, as well as a lot of other amazing things. He didn't only create one grain of sand. And so in our, puppy brain consciousness, we think, well, if I were to create something very amazing, I'd be, I can make something using what's already created and make something very amazing. Then we can think that's, lots of brain power, a lot of capacity. And in this world, it probably took, thousands of top brains to create a mobile phone, for instance, or, or something like that. And so one creator made things much more amazing than a mobile phone. So we then tend to think of genius. The Lord must be some amazing genius who can create universes and create all of the variety and all the variety of qualities, etc., etc., etc. So we start to then come, to think about the greatness of the Lord. But then it's amazing to consider that Lord who creates the conscious and mundane planes, then his topmost position, his origin is a 16-year-old cowherd boy in Vrindavan. I mean, we can understand why, Was it Venkatabhata and others in South India? No, was it Venkatabhata? Oh, I better get the names right, excuse me. But in South India, when Mahaprabhu was staying for 6 months of the rainy season.
Oh, you mean Gopal Bhatta's father? Oh, no,
Gopal Bhatta's father
oh, no.
is Venkatabhata. Anyhow, my point at least is, it's not surprising that when you're worshipping Vishnu, the great creator, that it's a difficult step to then consider, but his origin is a 16-year-old cowherd boy. So anyhow, we are very fortunate that somehow or another we've come to the cowherd boy conception of the original personality of Godhead. For most of us from the Western world, before we've had to think too much about the amazingness of the Creator as the very creation and clearly extremely powerful Vishnu and Narayans of the expansions of Krishna. So by the grace of Srila Prabhupada, by the grace of Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, by the grace of Srila Saraswati Thakur, by the grace of Mahaprabhu, we're coming straight to the youthful, beloved son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, as the supreme personality of Godhead. And it is a great gift, because this has been a mystery to the greatest thinkers. But now this has all been given to us as almost, yes, of course. We say, yes, of course, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This has been given by Mahaprabhu and the grace of our masters. And then Guru Maharaj, emphasizing this point, it's love, sweetness, beauty, and charm, which is more powerful than being a creator. This is the topmost thing. And with love, beauty, sweetness, and charm, anything can be done. And this is Krishna's prime quality, not as the beginning of all creation, both the variegatedness of the conscious world and the variegatedness of the mundane world. Worlds with a lot of S's at the end. Yes, Srila Kaditi, excuse me.
No, Maharaj, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you at all. Oh, no, it's just, I also was hearing today, Srila Guru Maharaj was saying that the Shruti, the scriptures, the Shrutis, they're, after witnessing the rasa dance, they're all bowing down and apologizing to the Lord that we couldn't describe you properly. We're describing you as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're describing your glories. We're describing, oh, how wondrous, how beautiful. But we didn't know that you were so beautiful. We didn't know you were so playful to see this manifestation of yours. Now we're feeling, oh, we failed in our duty to really tell the world about you. So
Hare Krishna.
it's really like the actual conclusion of all the Vedas, that the Lord is beautiful and playful. And that these other manifestations are for, to get us interested, impressed with the Lord.
Govinda. Amazing. Hare Krishna. And by the way, Srileka, well done. Your Facebook pages are now not mirror imaged anymore. And I did ask Induleka how you managed it. I thought she must have found a way, but she said, no, I have nothing. Who was it?
Has been manning the iPad.
Okay.
So, because if I do it, I can't see whether it's, where I am or anything. So it's Brajmohini.
Anyway, it's nice to see Srila Gurudev and Mahaprabhu not in the mirror. Now I feel it's reality and I'm not looking in a mirror. Okay. Hare Krishna. All right, dear devotees, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And oh, okay, Mayashwari Didi has a raised hand. So Mayashwari Didi, if you have a question, I will request Kumkum Didi to prick up her ears and listen, because I was just about to invite Kumkum for some comments about the infinite Supreme Personality of Godhead. But Mayashwari Didi, please, a question, and we're all going to listen to your question, and perhaps Kumkum will be happy to answer, and we'll be happy to hear.
Dandavat Maharaj and all devotees. First of all, I want to tell you that on Tuesday, I am leaving for Santa Cruz and we'll be visiting SoCal Ashram. So I'm very excited about that. My question is a little more mundane. I'm reading Revealed Truth again, and in the second chapter, I came upon a paragraph that confused me. It's talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, and Veda Vyas is talking about the Mahajans, and they come up with a question amongst themselves that they can't answer. And then in the next paragraph, it says, in the meantime, they saw Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur going by, and they called him over to answer their question. Now, it seems like that jumps timelines.
A very good observation, very good question, and we're very happy to have Kumkum Devidasi to answer. And this is, okay, oh no, I won't answer anything, because actually I'll probably start stepping on the answer that Kumkum Didi is going to give. I can just say, it's amazing. Okay, I'll just do 2 words. It's amazing. Okay, Kumkum Didi.
My Dandavat to you, Maharaj, and Srila Didi, and all of the Vaishnavas here. And Mayeshwari Didi is one of my very favorite topics to contemplate when I first heard this discussed. Now back up just a little, because, well, just the idea that Lord Yamaraj and the others, and Lord Yamaraj being the Lord of Death, everyone is fearful of death. Almost all religions are based in this: how do we avoid death? What do we do about this fact? How do we accommodate the fact that there's nothing we can do about this? And who does he turn to when he has this question, this very important question? And it's our grandfather, great-grandfather Guru. And so he is our great well-wisher, to say the least, Thakur Bhaktivinoda. So the main thing I like to think about this question and his answer is how we don't really understand that thoroughly who it is, how very transcendental his connection is, and that is being offered to us. So it's definitely astonishing, and it's our great treasure. I consider it one of our greatest treasures that we have, because we are worshiping those in the line coming directly from him. So they had, and I won't say this directly, but to paraphrase, their question was, how in Bhagavad Gita is explained that if a great soul is seen to do something that is lower, that is not what you would consider something very high or very saintly qualities, then we are still to see them as exalted. And so how can we do that? Because if the great soul is already higher than this mundane conception of righteousness, so how is it that we would consider that they would go up from that? And not being able to answer this question among themselves. Fortunately, as my husband used to say, Thakur Bhaktivinoda was taking a japa walk in the stratosphere. And if you knew him at all, you'd understand that he could be quite quirky. But the point is, it goes to your question about the time and space. How does this happen? So it's very inconceivable. What plane is he actually on? But the fact that he is solidly in Mahaprabhu's line, he is his associate, and he is always taking the holy name, that means that he's far beyond whatever yuga, whatever plane the question is being asked. So we don't have that good an understanding ourselves of what this plane, we can read, he lived in these years in Bengal, he had this position, he published all of these, he wrote so much, but more than that, he's Mahaprabhu's associate, so far, far beyond. And his answer, of course, is very important for us. And that is that if a person who is saintly does something which appears to be lower, then how do they attain righteousness? And Maharaj, please expound on this to answer much better than I am. But that the person who is doing the seeing and sees that soul as higher, they are the ones who will become righteous. They're the ones who need to go up. So if we're seeing some fault, then it's for us to learn how to go up. And perhaps that apparent fault is only there to help us with development and to transition into higher thinking. But it's very astonishing to think who it is, whose family we are invited into.
And every day is a festival in Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat. And this is how every day is a festival, because such things are discussed, such books are read, and this way our joyful journey home becomes a reality because we hear such things. And when we hear about Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this way, we want to chant and dance and think, yes, look how wonderful. Hare Krishna. Well, at least I'm hearing from Konkan and I want to chant and dance. You can say it. And we think of famously Narada Muni, who travels around the universe. He's got his Veena and he's very famous. And there are others. I mean, throughout the scripture, we're also told that the gods, they come down to this world. But I don't know if it was in a purport or not, but a long time ago, then I was told, and apparently I think it was from Srila Prabhupada's purport, saying that, but now the gods don't care to come here because it's so polluted. But now we can also think another thing, that the saintly persons on the higher planets, they do now want to come to planet Earth, not because of all the degradation and all those things that go on, but because of that one good quality, the holy name of the Lord, and Mahaprabhu's appearance and that current which is going everywhere. But Narada Muni is famous that he can travel here, there, and everywhere. But I haven't seen him recently, though sometimes we do put out mats, when maybe it's a Saturday program or something, and nobody turns up except ourselves. But still, I tell the devotees, please put down the sitting places. And slightly jokingly, we can say, oh, Narada Muni and others may want to come and sit. But that is in remembrance of what we heard Srila Prabhupada did in London. I was told it was in London where they'd arranged a program, but almost nobody came. And the devotees are all very apologetic to Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada said, more or less along the lines of, oh, you did not see, but So many sages, so many came to hear the Harikatha. We should always put out sitting places for them. So Srila Prabhupada gave encouragement to the devotees, and he wasn't disappointed that apparently nobody came. That sound, that vibration is going to do good. And we can't see. I mean, some people can see the subtle personalities, but well, I'm not part of them. You know, we may dream or something, but seeing, and some people, example, Srila Gurudev. He had his friends who he would directly be able to talk with and ask, what's Mahananda doing in Navadip right now? And they could tell him immediately when he was in Calcutta. But what is somebody else doing just near him, like upstairs? Well, that was, anyway, but somebody just, right beside in the ashram in Calcutta when Gurudev was there, if he asks the ghost, what are they doing? And they're just on the floor above or the floor below. Then the ghost, okay, wait a minute. Then the ghost, and then Gurudev said, why I have to wait? Why are you saying I have to wait to know quite what somebody is doing here? And then the ghost said, oh, because I can't see things close. I have to go far away first, then look, then come back and then tell you. But I can tell you what's happening in Navadip. I know what Mahananda is doing. So Gurudev, by the way, I mean, Srila Gurudev is so relatable. And I'm sure Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was. He was a very sociable, means was able to mix with all kinds of persons, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And I mean, that example comes when he was talking with one sadhu. People wanted to come for his association, and talking with Sahajya sadhu, and that person had come, and obviously must have been fairly respectable in society. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bimala Prasad, as a young boy, came to his father, saw his father and paid obeisances from far away. And then that sadhu asked Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's your son. Why is he not coming right to your feet to pay obeisances? Oh, because he took a vow he will stay so many meters away from, either it was a Sahaja or a Mayavadi, I forget. But you see, Bhaktivinoda Thakur able to mingle without being touched by anything negative with such persons. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all of our recent masters, but then we think immediately, our most recent master, Srila Govinda Maharaj, who's so approachable and so able to mingle openly, with the Malaysia section, the Western world section. But what caliber of devotees? Then this is, in Achintya, and the word aprakrita, looking like one of us, looking like the mundane world, but quite different. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, talking with so many people, but quite different from a mundane appearance of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, this is the great fortune of this time in the world. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you,
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Yes, I heard a voice, but I'm not sure who it belonged to.
It was me, Maharaj.
Me. Okay, I know a few me's. Yes, Sri
Well, I was thinking just to add a little thing, if it's all right with you. Srila Guru Maharaj is saying that time and space are within the mind. And, naturally the mind is pretty much misunderstanding everything, that mental plane. But those who are not living within the mental plane, they can be anywhere, in any time. And we know that even remembering the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, those pastimes or the pastimes of the great devotees, those pastimes are alive. They're not they're not constricted by mundane time and space at all. And so I thought I would add that because of that, it's seeming like that leap of time that Vaishudi was mentioning, but they're not living in that constricted zone at all. They're free from that. And we know that because we have our Guru Varga, and we can, especially on their disappearance or appearance days, we feel that presence of their blessing, that they're not constricted in any way in time and space, and they can extend their divine existence in some kind of benedicting way into our hearts at any time.
Hare Krishna, indeed, and it's all mind-blowing, and that's why we have to kind of just leave our mind behind and just happily hear the flow of the revealed Hare Katha and just bathe in that and just, oh, amazing. Keep our mind simple, worship Gauranga, chant the holy name, serve the Vaishnavas with love and faith. And we can add more. Humility, giving honor to others, and tolerance. I'm sitting in Gurudev's room. There's a picture on his bed. The picture is now, Gurudev in his picture form is now smiling. I think he was before as well. But anyway, humility, giving honor to others, and tolerance. It really, if we can remind ourselves and add this to our daily reminder program, remind ourselves constantly, Gurudev will be pleased there. And adjustment to the environment, which is all included too within humility, giving honor and tolerance, is adjustment to the environment. But Srila Guru Maharaj, giving this to us from very difficult times, adjust to the environment. The environment is friendly, even though we may be getting beaten up in any particular, beaten up by the environment, apparently. The environment is friendly. We are to learn, and we are also to accept that some unavoidable karma is there, that we are being purified, we're being prepared for higher things when there may be some lower things happening to us, some difficult things happening to us. Guru Maharaj being always positive and real, everything is real, getting us to adjust. But just one idea from Guru Maharaj, what to speak of the time and place and traveling in the universe, just that a stone does not exist if there's no consciousness. Then we think, no, it exists. But if there's no consciousness, it doesn't exist. I mean, lots of statements come out very easily, flow very easily. They flow from Guru Maharaj, they flow from Gurudev, they flow from Srila Prabhupada. But when we come to think about them, even like these some very straightforward statements, then we think, oh my goodness. And I can give a little mini reading if I'm still there. I'm not still there. Okay, maybe I can't give you. Wait 1 second, because this is something. There, we are thinking about Krishna, but there is this. Right. So here's this verse, and it's the verse from Bhagavad Gita, and this is Srila Guru Maharaj. And first of all, okay, it's Krishna speaking in Bhagavad Gita, this verse. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidinam, ascharyavat vadati tataiva chanyaha, ascharyavat chainam anya shinoti, shudvapyenang veda nachaiva kaschit. And this word ascharya, it means astonishing. And it is this verse which translated as, some see the soul as astonishing. Some describe him as astonishing, the soul, and some hear of the soul as astonishing, while others, even after hearing about him, cannot understand the soul at all. Then Srila Guru Maharaj says, even after giving attention to all these things, still it is very difficult to understand the soul properly. But our inner wealth is so valuable, and our present engagement is so nasty. On the whole, we must honestly admit that our condition is nasty. Our true selves are good, but our present situation is very nasty. This word, N-A-S-T-Y. But somehow we must get out of the intoxication of these nasty things, because to hanker after and obtain and mix closely with and relish these nasty things is improper for the soul. Whereas upon rising up to the super soul area, we find that the greatest fulfillment of our life is in that soil. Whatever we presently consider to be concrete things, to be real, whatever we consider presently to be concrete things and real, to be real, are nasty. We are told to be realistic, but that is to become unrealistic. Anyway, it's in this section, the Golden Staircase, where Srila Guru Maharaj is saying that even to understand oneself, one's tiny Atma, what is astonishing, what to speak of understanding the Lord. So the soul is astonishing. The pure souls, then they are the ones who are able to travel, to do so many things, and who see everything in a completely different light. Apparently, seeing what we see, but seeing very differently. So the soul is astonishing, just like that piece of sand. We started off with analyzing a piece of sand. We'll be astonished, but in a kind of a mundane way, about more and more features of that grain of sand. But what to speak of the conscious grain of sand, the conscious particle, the soul, that is amazing. Then what to speak of the Supreme Lord himself? Rather amazing, I think we can say. And then what to speak of Krishna, the origin of all that? Quite rather amazing. And he's sweet Krishna, our best friend. Hare Krishna. Yes, Maheshwari, a good observation. And thanks for bringing it up. It reminds us with whom we have connected. This is our line of connection. This is our current. And from Seva Rupa, I see 2 chats in the chat box. Click, click. Oh, she's given what? Oh, yes. So she's given the quote I just gave you, and from the Golden Staircase. A very efficient and research scholar, finding the treasures. Hare Krishna. And it looks like light is behind you. Oh, light's behind me too. This morning I've missed the red sunrise. It's been very red, beautiful Udila Aruna Purababage sunrise or pre-sunrise. But I've been talking with you all. I've been in the clouds, the digital cloud, instead of seeing the golden morning sunrise in South Africa. Govinda, Govinda, Gopala, Gopala. What
But
else?
Maharaj, I said Gopal Bhatta, but that's wrong. I'm sorry, it was Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, who was the son of Venkata Bhatta. So I wanted to correct that in something.
Yes.
Wasn't it?
Well, I'm saying yes. I would have to actually first I would actually have to do just a gentle homework so I do get the names right, because I am inclined to get the names wrong. Oh dear.
Me too.
But the substance of the reason of mentioning it was, when you get somebody who's been worshipping Narayan Vishnu, who is rather grand, all their life, then to accept that a teenage boy in the forest is superior to him takes a bit of a leap but that's what they call a leap of faith. But that's what Mahaprabhu is giving. And by the way, this is an example of Srila Guru Maharaj saying about the piano teacher. They're going to teach the piano. If you know something already, you got to pay double the price than if you don't know anything. Because if you don't know anything, immediately can teach the right way how to play the piano. If you know something already, double the work, because you have to a little bit unlearn what you've learned so far. So when we've been brought up with some God consciousness in the supreme, like Vishnu consciousness, then to make the change and to understand, no, Vishnu is not the origin of Govinda, although of Krishna, although there is an avatar Krishna, by the way. I mean, this also adds to the puzzle of Krishna consciousness, because Krishna can do everything and he does come as an avatar. But avatari Krishna is the origin of all avatars. And in fact, that's another awakening or slap on the cheek to try to wake us up, that we are here now just after avatari, the original Krishna, came with his original associates and original abode to this world. And similarly, avatari Gauranga just came with his original associates and original abode. So again, understanding that, yes, there is the avatar Krishna form, then that is the general form, and the avatar Mahaprabhu, Gauranga form, that is the general form that will come in day by day. I mean, the cycle, Chatur Yuga by Chatur Yuga. They are the ones who generally do come into this world. But the avatari is once in a day of Lord Brahma, which is a very long time, and that just happened. So again, lots of reminders why we should take our Krishna consciousness seriously. We should try to be good students. And Rupanuga Prabhu is still driving his car. I hope one day you reach the destination, Rupanuga Prabhu. You seem to be on a long journey, long car ride. Hare Krishna. And we also, mundane life. I was going to say, and it's a fact, we also have driven for 5 months from UK and through Africa, but didn't get as far as South Africa. 5 months was to the equator. Now we are quite south of the equator, in where we are in South Africa, not so near the equator. So we also were on a long journey, but thankfully we found our destination by causeless mercy. Hare Krishna. Anyway, Rupa Nugaru, I know you're going somewhere good to meet good people, and you're always chanting Hare Krishna. We are witness to that and very happy to see. Completely alone in the forest, and he doesn't know that we're anywhere near around, but I could hear him chanting loudly and enthusiastically to all the living entities. Truly, it was inspiring.
Maharaj. Now I have to correct myself again because it's actually Gopal Bhatta who is the son of Venkateswara. I'm completely confused. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I just don't want to say anything wrong on your Zoom, Maharaj, but I did get confused there. So I'm sorry to interrupt again, but I don't want to.
No, I'm pleased you interrupted, because I did say, when you said that, I did briefly say yes, and then I thought, I'm not sure it is a yes, actually. That's why I said that for myself, I'll go to the reference and do a double check. Yeah, it's okay. So Gopal Bhatta, the son of Venkateswara, and it was Venkateswara that essentially it took, the 3 months or the 4 months of the rainy season for Mahaprabhu to convince him that Krishna is the origin of Vishnu. So, I hope we can be forgiven if we can't convince somebody we meet, within 5 minutes. It took him 4 months to convince Venkateswara to just, to everything has a purpose. And the other thing is that the worship of Narayan and Vishnu is not wrong. It's not worship of the Lord. It is perfect, but there's perfect and more perfect. And this is what Mahaprabhu is given. And also that in Kali Yuga, then we've been given the direct line to Krishna. Swayam Bhagavan. As Jai Gauranga Prabhu started us off on the theme for today, and we appreciate that we are all here together, and we want to be able to have a theme and to address also points that come up with devotees' minds. All right, we better let you all get back to either rest, for those of you in Brazil, because it is very late, or to your day's activities, whether it is morning, late morning, early afternoon, or evening, wherever you may be on planet Earth. We have all come together in the cloud. Just see, and we've heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur traveling in the universe. Many things today. Jai to our wonderful masters. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Headed in our lifetimes by Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Rakok Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, and Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And we say headed by them because they are our immediate shelter, guide, guardians, and they have come to give us that wealth of the highest conceptions, not by knowledge, yes, by knowledge, but by actual connection. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, all the assembled Vaishnavas Ki Jai, and Sri Chaitanya Saraswata Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bo. Bancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Jai Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudana Maharaj Ki Jai.
And as we say, Pavanebhyo Namo Namaha, then Pavan Krishna is with us too. All being well, the will of the Lord will be in Thailand next time we speak with you all. We'll be close together. All right, dear devotees, and to all of you who who joined presently, and as well as all of you that have been all here throughout. Our obeisances, support, appreciation. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Amra Ashchi. Dandavat.